Where's my file? Hey, where's that file? There's maybe I got one with the bill in it. Look at it, one of that. Who? Are we live again?
Can I see a copy of the bill list, please?
No.
The bill list is in front of you. In the book? It's in your book. It's in your book.
It's in the back.
Tab 9. Do you have 9?
Are you looking for Cindy?
I'm looking for
Yeah,
there should be 2
Here's
Cindy's
another
in there.
copy.
I think I have 2 Cindy's in there. All the way the current one. I'm going to write on mine.
Are we recording?
Okay. Greenwich Township Committee regular meeting, March 19th, 2015. Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance by the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing a schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Times and North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township bulletin board, and filing a copy with the Township clerk. Roll call: Felice,
Here.
Torriello, Kalari,
Here.
Miliani, Adams.
Here. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending potential litigation, Warren County Prosecutor's Office, Phillipsburg Sewer, Glacial Energy, COA update, school shared services, court shared services, open space consultant, farm lease update, township administrator, CFO clerical stipend, police, buildings and grounds, recreation clerk, property maintenance official.
I would just like to include, with respect to court shared services, I don't know if we need to make this specific, but salary for the judge.
Motion as amended.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Felice,
Yes.
Torriello,
Yes.
Kalari,
Yes.
Miliani, Adams.
Yes.
We're probably going to be, for those that attend-
No. We're going to go up to 7:30, open up the meeting, and table the rest till the end.
Okay.
Well, then I may not be here for the rest of it.
I think we'll
So
clear out some of the items. Is Frank
Frank,
to accept the contract?
Did you review the Pinto Spinelli contract?
No, from what?
Okay.
They didn't send us a contract, they sent us a proposal. There's no contract yet. We have to okay it first.
Okay.
I looked at it, and it has terms that they say have to be included in it, but there wasn't anything, there's no contract yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, the answer is yes and no. I reviewed what was
We have
sent.
to accept them as our...
Accept them based upon attorney review.
Right. They tell you what you want as far as what is going to be included in it, but it's not an actual contract.
Okay.
Why are you speaking?
Should we run it?
Oh, hey,
Michael.
Thanks for locking out.
Michael.
Sorry for locking out, yeah.
Could you pull the podium out? Thank you. And Michael, here's your agenda.
Mr. Finelli, how are you?
I'd say... Thanks, Bob. 9:30. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. It's fine. I've got it. 5:45 surgery appointment. Okay, the tape is on. I can't find Jim, are you ready?
Microphones are on,
Are you
yes.
ready?
Yep. Motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Okay, Felice, Torriello, Kalari,
Yes.
Miliani. Yes. Adams.
Yes.
Okay. Regular meeting of the Greenwich Township Committee on March 19th, 2015. Members present: Felice, Torriello.
Yes.
Kalari.
Yes.
Miliani. Yes. Adams.
Yes.
All rise for the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have a moment of silence for Kenny Belts. He served on the Greenwich Township Committee as well as mayor in the 1980s. Thank you. Motion to open the meeting to the public for items on the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All in
Discussion.
favor?
Aye. Meeting's open to the public to discuss any items that are on our agenda.
Oh, no.
Only, anybody wishing to come up? Seeing no hands, motion to close public comment.
Make the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we make remarks about things else?
Yes, if you'd like to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Since Kenny Boucher was the former mayor of this town and served 3 terms on the Township Committee, he was instrumental in building this Township municipal building, and he's been an outstanding public servant in this community, and it's a great loss to the township. And he was a chairman of the planning board and served as a member for 19 years. And he was a leader in building this municipal building, and he was also on the school board for many years, and he was on the committee when they built Sturgisville Elementary School. There isn't a man that gave more time and his expertise to this community. And he was an outstanding public servant. And I am very grateful to him. I went to school with him. He's only a year older than me, and he's been very helpful to the Historical Society in the township. And he's a life member, and it's a shock because he always has been very involved with the Historical Society. And he helped me in 1984 when I created this position of the Historical Society. And he served as the chairman over the years. And he wrote the bylaws for the Historical Society. And this is a great loss to the township of New York. And he was an outstanding public servant. And I have some comments about the Historical Society, but I have to wait until the next public comment.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, Mayor? So we can only, at this point, comment on what's on the agenda here?
Yes, that's correct, yep. And we'll try to get through as quickly as possible, so we
Okay,
can
sure.
stay on track here.
Understand.
Okay, a couple of motions from, we are out of public comment, so a couple of motions out of executive session. School shared services, can I have a motion to authorize the attorney to enter into a shared services agreement with the Greenwich Township Elementary School?
I'll make the motion for the township attorney to enter into shared service with the school, Greenwich Township School,
Consistent with the terms discussed. in
consistent with the
executive.
terms discussed in executive session.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey? Triello? Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
But, yes, I didn't say yes, though. I nodded.
Okay, motion to authorize attorney to accept for the open space consultant position, Spinelli and Pinto Consulting, based upon attorney review.
Make the motion?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Triello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. You want to take the salary motion?
Sure. And can I have a motion to authorize the township attorney to contact the AOC to augment the court schedule consistent with the terms that we've discussed in executive session, as well as to notify the judge of the new salary consistent with the terms discussed in executive session?
Make the motion?
Except with the, instead of augment, it would be adjust.
Adjust.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Triello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Motion to advertise for the position of Township Administrator consistent with the terms and conditions discussed in executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Bailey? Triello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes. And motion to authorize CFO clerical stipend per the terms and conditions discussed in executive session.
Make the motion.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Clary?
Yes.
Miliani?
Can I clarify something? The word CFO clerical stipend, is it clerk and clerical stipend?
Yeah, so it's the, no, it's the CFO, the clerical
Support
work of-
system
Yes,
to the CFO?
Yes.
Okay.
and it covers both the clerk.
Okay, I was just a little
And the,
confused. I thought it would be clerk and clerical. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not.
All right.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Okay. Motion to adopt minutes February 19th, 2015.
Make the motion.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Clary?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Payment of bills.
I'm going to need two motions for that. If you look in tab 9, first page, broken out is the escrow accounts. So these are checks in the amount of $10,561.62.
For escrows?
Those are strictly escrows.
Okay, that'd be a separate motion.
And then, page 3 of the condensed bill list is $573,332.22.
What?
Say that again?
$573,332.22.
Minus the 488?
Yep.
Minus the 488.
Was it 488 rounded?
Yes, but
And, how do I address the verdict for the 850?
What was that?
The verdict for
Oh, the Vertis Group 850.
we fronted the money for the,
Yeah, we already put 1,500 aside for them for costs associated with filing for that.
I just want to get him a check.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's rec? That-
It's for the
Yeah, it's for rec.
not-for-profit.
So all you
Yeah.
do is make a motion authorizing, because anything over 1,000, so all you have to do is make a motion authorizing the payment of whatever.
Yeah, separate.
Okay, I'll make that.
Can we get a yellow sheet, a yellow request by the end of tonight?
From who?
I had you looped in on the email.
You want me to do a requisition?
Wait, yeah, later on. For rec.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the process, right?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
for the 850. Okay. All right, so we'll do three motions. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to just apprise you of this one for information only. It's not on this bill
Yeah,
list, but
okay.
I need to present it to the Township Council according to the procedure. I have a Greenwich Township Recreation check that needs to be cut for $8,382.80, representing reimbursement for the pancake breakfast that we held. So it's just the reimbursement they netted, is that the pancake breakfast?
No, for the cake fund.
The cake fund, sorry, the cake, I'm confusing the cake.
The cake purchase.
Right, the cake purchases, but there was the total sales was 12,000.
12,000 and change,
So we netted about $4,000, so the funds are there, so I just wanted to apprise you of the high dollar amount.
So
572.
you'll need a motion.
We need a motion for that then? Do we have to
Yes.
vote on
No,
it?
it's not one of vote, it's just an information only, because it's going to be on the net.
Yeah, but we need to authorize it. We need to approve it, so you're going to
Yeah,
sign it.
'cause so that-
We
when
can
is the
we
check
do it through
due?
signatures or a motion.
When is it
That's
due?
fine.
When is the check due?
Now.
Now,
Oh, then you need a motion to
Right,
authorize
okay.
payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, I'd like
So we'll
to make a
add that.
motion to authorize payment.
I'll second it.
All right,
Tom made the
let
motion,
Jim,
that
let
Joe
Jim
seconded it.
handle, let Jim handle the financial here, so that we're
Call
not,
for a motion.
Well, they already made a motion and second. It's on the,
Robert's rule of order, man.
okay,
She did it.
made a motion.
So, all right, so we,
Seconded? Okay,
so we had the motion to pay
8,300.
at the front, $382.80 to Sweet Fundraiser Solutions out of the Recreation Fund.
So the motion was made, and it was
and a
seconded.
second, so we're ready for a roll
Discussion?
call?
Roll call.
Discussion? Roll call. Bailey's?
Yes.
Floriano?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Okay. Need a motion to, we have three motions for bills, payment of bills, okay? Motion to approve payment of $10,561.62 for escrows.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey's? Floriano?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Sign that. Second motion, for payment of bills in the amount of $572,844.22.
I'll make the motion.
I will second. Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Floriano?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. The Veritas Group?
Yeah, and can I have a motion to reimburse the Vertus Group LLC for the amount of $850 representing the filing fee for the not-for-profit that they advanced?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Discussion. One discussion item. This, I want on a requisition form for the Veritas Group. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Floriano?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Since you just approved it, can I just do a direct appeal for this now?
I'd like to get our signatures on it.
Which will be on the PO.
Yeah, but you need a bill to back up the PO. He'll get it to you, just...
Yeah, the bill.
I think you
He
have it
wants
in
a
email.
requisition.
I want the requisition so we can sign it like this
Oh, the yellow.
and push it through. Otherwise,
It could wind up in a
yeah,
bottleneck.
yes. I want to grease the slide. I would like to,
This is not even mine.
yeah, that's part of this. Okay. Board of Health meeting, okay? Want to take 5 minutes, discuss 102 Bradford. Do we have quotes for 102 Bradford yet?
I reached out to Adam, he has not yet supplied, Adam Foster, from ProClean, to get me his proposal. I needed it for tonight, I have yet to receive it, he hasn't returned my calls. I do have one for approximately $4,300 from Dr. Clutter, it's the name of the firm, to go in and remove all of the waste that's in the house.
I was under the impression from the last meeting that nothing could be done until the court hearing was heard.
Court hearing is scheduled for April 13th.
So, what, are we going on the property?
So what we have done so far is, because it's a public health issue that was brought up, we authorized DPW to go in and board up the place. And that has occurred?
No, you didn't ask them to board, you asked them to secure so that there was no access. So, because the doors weren't locked, so that all the doors are now secure and closed.
There's no wood or anything, it's just screwed shut or something to that degree?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can be held liable for at this point in time without having had the hearing done at the court?
Or you're at the risk of spending money that you might not get back. If you get the adjudication from the municipal court.
Where are we on that? Where are we on
Not-
that?
Well, the
but
court's on
I
April-
thought there was
on April
something about
13th.
not going on the property until after we had the court hearing.
Well, I had contacted the county on, the County Board of Health, and they have jurisdiction to the exterior of the home. They don't have jurisdiction within the home, as I was told. And I had asked the Board of Health to put that in writing or send us that ruling. What I wanted to have investigated or discussed amongst us is the feasibility of, depending on when this court date is, if we have a public health nuisance, what is our role, what is our liability in case something were to happen?
Well, it's not like the health nuisance is contained inside the house, though. I don't know if it's, as far as the public goes, if there's anybody that's outside the residence that's going to be affected by
Has
it.
it been inspected?
I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen, I know we've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's been,
Mike inspected.
and they deemed it as contained, meaning no threat to the immediate area. It's contained inside the house. There's no immediate health hazard to the neighbors. Have they written that? Have they?
I would agree with that statement.
You'd
It
agree
is
with that
contained, yes, with your statement,
That's
Tom.
all. That's all.
As long as you don't enter the dwelling,
Mhm.
I think you're fine.
Okay. So if there's not any risk to anything getting out of that house, to the surrounding areas, then we can wait until the 13th, until the hearing.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
agree with that.
if that's the case, yeah, I don't think
Just
there's any need
mitigating
to.
any risk up until then.
Discussion, are you going with the 14th, 13th?
Yes.
Can't, I have surgery.
Oh,
I will be at the 13th and 14th, just,
I might be able to go, yeah, I don't know what day it is, but,
I'm gonna be out.
are you going to be able to go, Frank?
I'll let you know. 13th,
It's a Monday.
it's a Monday?
Do they have the ability to postpone?
Yeah.
Legally? They can literally go out how many days after that?
Yes, it is.
13th I can't. 13th I can't. I'll talk to Kim, and we'll figure it out.
So how are we going to remind, how are we going to keep track of that clock?
We have another meeting on the 9th,
Okay, so I'll be on phone.
so we can discuss it at that point.
Okay.
Okay, good.
That's a Monday, Tuesday.
All right, let's move on to the municipal budget. AFS and training proposal. So, Mr. Morrison is here to go over that.
Thank you, sir. The annual financial statement for 2014 has been completed. We were waiting for the CFO to get to a review of all of the adjustments that we had made prior to filing. She has not been able to get to it, and quite honestly, since she was not here for 2014, and she has been using all of her hours to try to get up to speed on 2015, she indicated to me that she wasn't comfortable signing off on the annual financial statement because she hasn't had a chance to look at it, she wasn't a party to any of the transactions, and the number of adjustments that were made to the general ledger at the end of the year were considerable. I contacted the Department of Community Affairs, and they said they will accept the AFS without the CFO's certification on it. So tonight, I left copies with the clerk. She's got to get the assessor to insert an assessed value number for 2015 and sign it, and then she can file. So the AFS will be filed. The results of operations for the year, I think the significant thing you need to know is that as of the completion of this document, your fund balance was in fact down for the year. We thought it would be when you adopted your budget. It in fact dropped from $940,000 to $710,000. That's a trend that we have to keep an eye on, because if you deplete your fund balance, it will be very difficult to regenerate new fund balance. So as we build the 2015 budget, we'll have to see what the tax consequences are going to be. I have been getting significant amounts of data relating to capital maintenance. I got a schedule today which is fairly detailed. It's got pretty comprehensive numbers on the major equipment for your departments. It's got a lot of the buildings and grounds information. We're using an estimate on roads. If those estimates are good, you're going to be looking at authorizations of minimum $300,000 a year, it looks like, for the next 5 years. On average, I will be building a model for you that integrates with your current outstanding bonds and tries to provide for level funding so you can see what the tax consequences will be. I've got a couple of questions, and I'd like to confirm with your engineer the estimates on this report for roads. And I don't know if he's ready for that yet, so.
Probably not.
So we may have a little wait on that, but we want to get something comprehensive because, infrastructure maintenance is very important, and, Mike will be the first one to tell you, you let a road, you miss an overlay and you have to do a reconstruction, the cost becomes a heck of a lot more. So, that's the plan. I have some numbers on salaries and other expenses. I need to go through what I was given and break them out by department, and then get somebody, either the mayor or the clerk or the CFO to review them and indicate satisfaction that we have everything in the right buckets. There will be a distribution, I think, of some administrative costs to the sewer utility, as we did last year.
Yes.
In the financial statement itself, I note several deficiencies in the financial records, most of them having to do with the departure prior to year end of the CFO. But the one thing that has me concerned is that the billing records for the sewer utility indicate a significant drop in billings during calendar year 2014 from prior years. Before I left for my short hiatus, I had sent an email to staff asking if they could research it, and as of, I think, noon today was the last time I looked, I hadn't gotten a response. So that item is still pending. That could have a significant impact on operations. The last several years, the billings have exceeded $600,000. This last year, the billing records that I got were in the 300 and some thousand range. So there's significant drop. I don't know if it's commercial billings. I don't know if it was misclassified connection fees in a prior period. Or it just may be that the records that I was given are not the proper records. But that has to be resolved, and that's a big item on my agenda. Going forward with the budget, if at all possible, we should really try to get a budget put together for introduction. The state is pushing hard this year for early introductions. We're past what they consider to be a timely introduction at this point. There's no penalty for...
Last year, we were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And we waited.
Well, we were at April 17th last year.
They've stepped it up. They indicated that they would like to have budgets introduced by your first meeting after March 13th. Now, yeah, and I guarantee you half the state has not introduced their budget yet.
I guarantee it's more than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
But that's what they're asking. Usually they'll start making phone calls and sending letters when they get to the point where they're really anxious. But I suspect that it's going to be a question on that best practices survey, and they attach a small amount of state aid to the score you get on that thing. So if we can avoid a loss of a couple of bucks of state aid, that's about all it would amount to.
Who receives that?
What, the best practices survey?
Yeah. How does that come in?
It comes in through either the clerk or the CFO. It's either to the clerk, directed to the CFO, or directly to the CFO. But it should be presented to the governing body for approval to file before it gets filed, and that's something that will get filed midsummer. In time for them to take a deduction on the last energy tax receipts payment in late November.
In terms of timing, we have another meeting on April 9th. I don't know if we're going to need another special meeting between the 9th and the 23rd. We have a meeting on the 9th and the 23rd. The 9th is typically the workshop. What's everyone's opinion on having that workshop? Do we need Bob at that workshop?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be involved in it, because I'm looking at the information that I got today, and I can see some things that are lumped together that are going to have to be broken out into 20 pieces. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that we fund the individual departments and operations appropriately. So we have a blueprint, if you will, but it's a rough blueprint. It needs to be hashed out and divided up into the appropriate pots. And until we do that, I really can't do tax calculations to give you an idea where we stand. So the plan for me, at least, would be get the operating costs dropped into the budget. I've already got the debt service numbers, the statutory expenses that have to be added. So when we get the operations dropped in, we'll be able to give you a baseline, and then we can talk about how much capital funding you want to put in, and what the impact would be versus the projected capital needs. And essentially what we'll be talking about is, can you afford to try to go to a complete pay-as-you-go basis, or if we're going to have a need to do another bond sale 5 or 6 years down the road. And I will have a debt service schedule for the existing debts so that you can see how we blend in, how long you'd have to go to outrun the last bond issue, but that's got a fairly long life, so at some point you're going to be adding to your total. As far as the training, the mayor had contacted me regarding training for the CFO. I advised him that I'm more than happy and willing to come in and sit with him and the CFO to go over Greenwich-specific matters. The way that you handle certain of your transactions, the organization of your funds, what the approval levels are supposed to be according to your code and your standard operating procedures. But before we do that, it's absolutely essential, as far as I can see, that your CFO be brought completely up to speed on the Edmunds accounting software and also payroll processing. Those two items, she has to know how to do those, all the functions in those two systems before we can start integrating her knowledge of those systems into how she's going to run the finances of the township on a day-to-day basis. So I would be happy to try to schedule something for me, but I think more importantly, we got to make sure that we get some scheduling with the Edmunds software people so that she's got that down solid, and maybe another session with the ADP people.
We approved this, was that?
ADP, yeah?
Yeah, but was that for
Foster Thomas. It was for somebody to come in here and to assist and to go through, no, it's for somebody to come in and assist and train
on the existing process?
On the existing process, and understand what reports, so that there are no more spreadsheets that she's creating, that there are reports that are there that exist, that all she needs to do is know the right report she's asking for.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of effort being put in by the CFO to develop audit trails off system, where a better knowledge of the system will allow you to rely on the audit trails of the system. And ADP has its systems audited by one of the big four accounting firms on an annual basis, and they will provide an internal controls report to me that indicates that I can rely on the ADP system for what gets processed through it. And the only area that I have to be concerned with is input at the local level. So the more we can get the CFO to rely on ADP's controls and stop trying to create controls off system, the happier I'll be and the less time it will take her to process the payroll. So that's why I included ADP as part of the additional training, because I think she could become a lot more efficient with a little more proficiency in the software.
And what we started out with was giving her the ability to work offline, off the system, because of what was going on with the tax receipts, and sewer receipts, and all of that.
Oh,
so
I mean, to be honest
the time
with you,
is right to get her.
When she first came on board, none of the systems were operating the way they were supposed to. Some had been functioning fairly well, and then a void was created when your former CFO left. Some hadn't been operating properly for the whole year.
Prior to that, yes. Okay, so do we have the appropriate ADP contact to get her in touch with Does she have that information at this point in time, and does she know to reach out to them yet, or I'll
Well,
take that and make that happen tomorrow?
Foster Thomas is the agent that ADP uses.
Their info's in our last meeting.
The info was in the last meeting packet. The woman, Nicole, I've left it with Kim for Kim to set up the person to come in. She's going to be running the payroll a few times to see exactly what the challenges are. There are a few challenges that exist in the payroll. And then from there, train so that, and explain which reports would generate the exact same information that are being done through an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay, so, and what kind of timing are we looking at to have this person come in? We authorized it at the last meeting, but
That was Thursday, so it's supposed to be for Monday, but I haven't spoken to Nicole today.
Okay.
I can follow. Now, who specifically is having this training? Is it just going to be Joan, or is there anybody else going to be
I thought we
cross-trained?
talked about some other things. I thought we talked about other things.
And then this company is also going to be doing the training for the Workforce Now for the hand scanner, and be training on the system for the department heads to be...
For the two department heads, but Workforce Now, everybody's up and running.
Well, I
Everybody's,
have them logged in the system, but someone has to maintain the records in it.
and it has to be downloaded, and these are the things that she would be able to,
Or edits need to be made for time, and it would have to be done by a department head.
right, absolutely.
So they would be trained, so the department
So
heads...
there's some
So there would be
maintenance from the
some
department
things
head's
from
gonna
department
have to happen.
But
have
is
to
there
happen.
anyone else for payroll besides Joan?
Sherry. Well, I think it's Sherry. I mean, we don't know how long Kirk is gonna be there. So I think we should be looking at Sherry. Yeah.
all right, I do need, we need to get training for Edmonds in here.
All she has to do is pick up the phone and...
I know, but we need authorization, I need a motion to authorize CFO to contact Edmonds, and bring an on-site person not to exceed $1,500.
I'll make the motion.
Let's go with $2,000, not to exceed $2,000.
Motion.
But we did business with Edmonds. Why wouldn't they come in here and do it for nothing?
In order
Is there
to
a
have,
cost?
much like ADP, in order to have a consultant come in, they're going to charge a rate.
We do business with ADP, they charge the training.
Well, they don't charge the training. That's not true. ADP provides the training for free. The employees who were here did not take advantage of that training. The easiest way for me, and what I recommended, was bringing somebody else in so they could actually show them, because they haven't been taking full advantage of the webinars and the different programs that are online for them to follow. And I think that may be the same problem with Edmonds.
I know when I contacted Edmonds end of January to queue all this up, all the webinars were available for free online, and in order to have a consultant come in, it would be a fee for that service, where they would come in and spend the day on site.
So why don't we start with the webinars and see how it goes?
Do you want to authorize me in case we need to do this ahead of the next meeting?
What?
If the webinars don't work,
She won't know before the night, you gotta take it to her, right? Never start there. See how it goes, no?
I would highly recommend we get a professional who knows the system inside and out to come in and sit with her for a good period of time. We have never fully utilized the system. We have not. You know, even to this day, you think it's being utilized, and there are internal functions that can be leveraged that save a whole lot of work, like the tax movement over to the GL. It's there, but we don't trigger it, you know, and the sewer can automatically flow from Vital over to Edmonds. It's there,
And
but,
escrows are not on Edmonds, and...
and all the other smaller accounts.
You know, I just, well,
All right, so the motion, where was the motion?
Motion was to have CFO train with Edmonds at a cost not to exceed $2,000.
Okay, so there was a motion and a second?
Joe made the motion.
I'll second. So, let's discuss. Okay. That's my, I would feel more comfortable, because we've never achieved that level of training here.
The time is of the essence, and I think that it'd be a good idea to have it as an option. I think it's a good idea.
What's the time frame on the training? What's the estimate on how long it's going to take? That'll be indicative of whether or not you're going to say, hey, let's give a shot at doing the online,
I
and
don't know.
then transition into your plan? I mean, you got 2 weeks.
I mean, we
before
can,
the next meeting.
we can try both.
The
You know,
webinar
we could try both.
covers every chapter.
So amend the
Everyone.
motion to start with the webinar,
She's pretty...
and then
like you
if
would
not,
start it, and then if you need it, you got it.
well, isn't that the reason why we hired Kirk? Because he has Edmonds.
There's a motion, it's been seconded. If
Yes.
we're gonna change it, then we have to vote on
I
it.
understand that. I understand that. I understand that. What they're discussing, I don't think needs to amend, the motion. I mean, the motion is,
You're gonna do this as an alternative.
yeah, as an alternative. I'll go with the web, I'll go with the web training and try and get it done.
Yep. So then,
Yeah, well, I think, we'll try and make it work. And if not, I'll fall back on this. Okay? Any other discussion? Roll call.
Bailey's? Torriello?
yes.
Florrie?
Yes.
Miliani?
No.
Adams?
Yes. Okay, and Bob, were you, in our discussion, you were talking about putting together a training proposal post getting her up to speed on Edmonds and ADP. Is that still on the table, or do you foresee just coming in and it's a...
We
how's that gonna work?
we can do it as a formal process, or depending upon her comfort levels after she develops a proficiency with the software, that might not be necessary. So, at this
Okay.
point, I'd be more comfortable waiting to give you a proposal till I find out where her comfort level is with respect to the software. Because if I come in and start telling her, this is what you have to get the software to do to produce the type of records that the mayor and committee are looking for on a weekly basis or meeting-by-meeting basis, this is the type of records that the state requires, this is the type of process that the ordinance calls for with respect to authorization and approval, et cetera, she has to be able to click off in her mind the various modules that she has to get into and the various reports that she has to call up and the specific ways to do inputs in her brain as I'm talking. And that's the knowledge I want her to develop before we start going over that. Right?
Okay.
So I mean, I can help her be a better CFO, but I can't train her in that software. Right?
Understood.
I'm not. I don't
Understood.
consider myself anywhere close to expert enough to train her in the software.
Okay. And I think what you're saying is once she has that under her belt, the processes that you and I were talking about will fall into place.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, once she knows the software, that the software was designed to comply. I mean, that software is New Jersey specific, so it was designed to comply with the laws and regulations relating to budgets and financial administration in the state. So once she gets the software down, the rest will flow, I think, fairly easily, and there may not be a need for me to make a proposal because I'll just be able to give her advice informally. As she has a problem, she can call me up, and I don't charge for that.
And that's beautiful. Okay, thank you, Bob. Any other questions or concerns for our budget? I'm looking for the resolution for increase.
There's two resolutions. One is Resolution 15-40. That's the increase, that's the emergency one that is there. It's not in your book, it's loose.
Loose,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that up.
It's there with the spreadsheet.
Okay.
This is an emergency resolution with an increase in the temporary budget of $1,455,273.
This is 26 point,
No. This is not a temporary budget. Bob, can you explain this resolution with the increase in the temporary budget?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, absolutely.
That's okay.
The amounts that were initially appropriated in the temporary budget in several of the line items have effectively been depleted, and as the year has gone by, some additional bills are starting to come in that were not contemplated in the temporary budget, because the temporary budget is supposed to be basically for 3 months. So, for example, you've got pension bills that you have to pay next month, substantial pension bills that you have to pay next month. They needed to be added. Some of the salary accounts are running out of money. Essentially, between Kim and Joan, they came up with a list of items that were short. This resolution essentially lets you add the monies that you need to your temporary budget to allow you to continue paying your bills and your payrolls until you adopt the budget for the year.
So in the past, we did 26.36%.
26.25%.
And then this is in excess of 26 if we
Yes.
were going to do another quarter.
Yes, and again, that in theory should get you through June 30th. There's a second type of temporary budget amendment that can also be done, and in the next go-round, it would be what I recommend, where you transfer from line items where you have money still available to line items where you come up short. But considering the fact that at this point in time, we haven't introduced the budget, and we're looking probably at early June at the earliest for adoption, this route made sense to me. And we contacted the mayor and got his verbal before we put this together. And again, it can be amended if, in fact, it turns out that anything in this resolution overfunds a line item beyond what we think we're going to need. We can amend that temporary budget down so that it matches up with our adopted budget. So it's not really committing you to expenditures that you won't have to make, because we can reverse those out before we adopt the budget if we have to.
And Bob, I know we were discussing this, and just for everyone's knowledge here, the concept of this temporary budget and the impact it has, particularly in our situation, it kind of handcuffs us in that.
I'm going to get up on my soapbox here.
I don't want to trigger you, but, looking forward, okay, this is the most troublesome period. Take away all the other stuff we have going on with CFOs and knowledge base of individuals and software, but you got this temporary budget here, which just creates this need to constantly fuel it.
Yeah, I have to get on my soapbox. Temporary budgets
One minute, Bob. 1 minute.
are the dumbest idea that I have encountered in all my years of practice as an accountant. Most other states adopt a budget for the year prior to the start of that year. And when there's contingencies, such as the amount of state aid you're going to receive, other states require a mandatory look back after the governor's budget is announced. In New Jersey, we operate on percentages up until you adopt an entire budget for the year, and in some instances, in some places in this state, they adopt a budget for the year the day after the year ended. That's how effective it is. And what it does is it hamstrings you. If you have items that you want to go out to bid on, if you don't have enough in the temporary budget, you have to do an emergency or have to do a transfer. It just slows a lot of the things that you want to do down until you get a budget adopted. So,
Thank you,
I'm
Bob.
sorry.
I can vent as well. I do have a goal, though, and that is to put ourselves into that situation. I don't know how, but I think by year end, November, December, I would like to be having a whole committee on board with that concept so that we can start 2016 with that committee moving forward with a fully funded budget, because it's just mind-boggling. Okay, thank you.
So
Um,
we have and authorize that.
Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2015 to provide adequate funding in the 2015 temporary budget for $1,455,273? 2015-40. That's it. Motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call?
Bailey's? Torello?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Now, if you'll go to your tab for resolutions, which would be tab 4. The very first page on that is 15-41, resolution authorizing appropriation of, what is that number?
Fix that typo.
$8,400?
$8,400.
$8,400? I wasn't sure if it was $84,000, because there's an extra zero in here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't think about it.
No.
Bob, do you want to give why this is here?
Yeah, this resolution is allowing a direct charge against your capital improvement fund balance for the road study that your engineer is conducting. The alternative to this would be to include it in the 2015 operating budget. By doing this, you use capital funds for capital purposes instead of operating, and you avoid putting a bump into your budget that would need to be smoothed in subsequent budgets. So, the administrative code allows this, it contemplates this type of a resolution where you finance the cost of a study that's ultimately going to result in capital project ordinances, and that's what this does.
What's the cost on that?
$8,400.
Yeah,
We'll get the right period in there.
My office manager has been out the last couple of days. I actually typed that myself, which explains any typos you see.
Does this report also include the deterioration of the drains?
No.
No,
This is
strictly
solely
roads.
roads.
Okay. I think it should be included. It's part of the,
I don't know why we can't. If you include the sewer, the storm drains, How does-
remediation,
how does that impact
your number.
your number? If your analysis were to include storm drains, because when I drive around, I see quite a few there.
We're going to wind up having to repair those, and it's going to be a
You
capital
already have one
expense.
that's already,
It would impact it significantly,
Okay, so can you,
because when you're dealing with storm drains, you're dealing with underground facilities that are not easily inspected. So, to be honest with you, we probably have to TV a lot, I mean, not all. So, and you have 27 miles of roadway, municipal roadway. I don't know if we have 27 miles.
We have 800 storm drains.
800 and inlets. But how about the pipes? If that's, wait, are we talking the same thing?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yes.
we have
a lot of
you
infrastructure.
can't just look at the inlets and not look at the pipes. We have miles and miles and miles.
Okay.
can you give us something for the next meeting so we can include it in the capital so that we know, because we know we have to
Oh,
get some
sure.
of this done.
Oh, absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, at least
It's
from
for you to come
my
off the top of your
vantage point,
head right now, that's not fair.
Like, I thought it was another 1,200.
This was always roads.
Okay.
Yeah,
In my head, anyway, so, sorry if there was a...
No. All right. So, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2015-41, authorizing the appropriation of $88,400 of capital improvement fund balance for preliminary costs for engineering fees associated with the development of a multi-year road maintenance program?
I'll make,
Make a motion.
as amended. I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Ferraro?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Okay. And the last item, I know we want to let Bob go, but I have one bid for services for auto repair. Tim, where, oh, this was a handout?
Uh-huh.
Did everyone get a copy? of it?
No,
Yeah.
I just put the pile in front of
I'm
you.
sorry.
The Ross Nagels,
Yeah.
and then you have the spreadsheet.
Yeah, so, we look to award a bid for auto repair for our police cars. We received two bids, one from H&K Auto, mechanical was $50 an hour, electrical was $75 an hour. Received one from Ross Nagels, which was $80 per hour. However, there was a significant quality difference where Ross Nagels can Tom, if you want to embellish that, fast-track our...
Ross Nagel's, their service mechanics are ASC and L1 certified. They also have 6 lifts to repair multiple cars at the same time. At this time, we're considering purchasing new police vehicles this year in the capital. However, we have a fleet that's antiquated and getting on in years, which puts a lot of the cars out at the same time. I'm noticing a couple of cars out at the same time, which when you're sending it to an auto mechanic that has one garage and has other customers, it languishes and it's not good for us. So this Ross Nagels, we've been servicing them there for the last few months, probably since January, and seem to be doing a good job and getting quick turnaround on the vehicles. So I don't know if you have any comments, Chief, on that or anything in negate to that, but, okay.
Okay, so can I have a motion to award the bid to Ross Nagel Service Center?
Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Ferraro?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Okay.
Portable restrooms?
Let's get that in front of us.
Portable restrooms.
Is it
That's on your
already
sheet
here?
It's in the sheet.
Yes, one is Delaware Valley for 75, and the other one is Castle Septic for 80. Delaware Valley cleans bi-weekly.
Oh, okay.
Castle Septic
Yeah.
is weekly, at a cost of $5 more, and we've discussed this, and it's a better company. Castle
Yep,
Septic.
all right.
So,
Thank you for making it in 6-point font.
I'm sorry, I told you I couldn't get it to print any bigger. That's the best I could get for you.
Okay, so another bid, we received 2 bids for portable toilets. One was from Castle Septic, $80 per unit per month. The second one was from Russell Reed for $77.50 per unit per 28-day cycle. The Castle Septic comes with a weekly clean-out? Weekly clean-out.
And
Versus monthly.
versus bi-weekly.
Versus bi-weekly.
Yes.
And we're not comparing apples to apples. One is per month, $80 per month. The other is $77.50 per
Yeah.
28-day cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So February, you're good. Motion to accept Castle Septic bid for Greenwich portable toilets.
Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Bailey's? Ferraro?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Are we going to hold off on the cleaning service?
Yes.
Because we need to, whoever the lowest one is, you wanted me to contact them, and I need to speak with
We
them.
need to get the quality check with them.
Yeah, they just look at their proposal.
Yep.
And I think we've covered everything, and
That's good.
other things we went out for.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so Elaine, do you want to, I'm looking at Bob and I'm wondering, do we have any other topics for finance?
Mhm. I don't have any.
You guys okay with,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
look at that expression.
Going once, going twice.
Thank you, Bob, for
Thank you.
all your help. And I'll reach out to
Anything
you
else for the-
prior, like next week, so that we can prep for the 9th.
Okay.
We had a little sidebar here.
We'll get some more firm numbers from each
Okay.
department to kind of...
I'll take what you have and divvy it up,
Okay.
for,
We'll get the operating budgets in there for you as well.
very good, sir.
Thanks again. Okay, Lynn.
Okay, so this is the first reading of ordinance number 2015-01, which is the ordinance amending the ordinance 2012-20 to provide senior citizens and disabled persons that satisfy the income or disability requirements in NJSA 54:48.40 are not required to file a separate township sewer discount application form. This is the elimination of one form, to create one form filing.
Okay,
So I need a motion.
motion to,
Introduce.
Motion to introduce ordinance 2015-1, by title only.
Motion.
I'll second. Discussion.
Was this reviewed by
Brent.
Brent? It
Yes.
was? Okay.
Yes. This was actually reviewed and revised and submitted directly to me.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought I remember seeing and hearing about it. I just wanted to confirm that this is the one.
This is the final version.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
So will this be on the 23rd, is it the 23rd or the 26th? Which date is that?
23rd.
It won't be the
23rd.
9th,
23rd.
it'll be the 23rd.
You don't want the second reading for the 9th?
Do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't
Is
know.
the timing correct?
It's the time, that's all I was thinking, it's timing.
How many games?
10, isn't it?
7.
7?
Sure it's 7? I thought it was 10.
I thought it was 10.
10 is the
Well, 7 or 10, we're well within.
10 is for what?
There's like a whole
bond
week.
ordinance.
Oh, bond ordinance.
It's 7 days. But we still have plenty of time. It's the 19th of March, and it's
Okay.
not until the 9th of
I have a
April.
question.
Yes.
For the sake of privacy, how do they prove the income?
How did they prove their income?
Yeah, in other words, how do you know to give them the discount? I mean, do they have to...
There's rules and regulations on the form, and there's,
Yeah, but they're not filling out a form.
if
Yeah,
they
there's,
qualify...
Yeah, there is a form.
There is a form, but if they qualify for the senior discount, they have to prepare and submit financial records to qualify.
So they do have to fill out a form.
Yeah, there
Yes.
used to be 2 forms, we're making one
Yeah, just the
form.
one.
Right,
Okay,
Yeah.
so they just do it once and that's it.
Yeah,
correct.
Gotcha. All right. Good.
yeah,
Okay, if you do it on the 9th, there's plenty of time.
Yes.
yeah.
okay.
I thought I heard him
So
once.
second reading, 9.
Yeah, that's fine.
We had done, Mike's not here, a sewer infiltration report from Joe Pryor. It's contained in the packet, right?
Yes.
And it's the I&I study, and we need to make a motion to accept the I&I study, and it would be then forwarded to Brent Carney.
I'll make the motion to accept the I&I study.
I'll second.
I don't have a date. Got a second discussion? Here it is, the I&I study dated February 2nd, 2015, from JMT, Johnson, Miriam, and Thompson.
Done by Joe Pryor, yeah.
So, as amended, Joe,
I'll still second it.
discussion, roll call.
Bailey? Torriello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
I had on here to appoint the monitoring report for COA for Beth McManus, but in light of the discussions we had in executive, should we hold off on this?
No, I don't, I think
No,
you're right
because
to
this
do
is
this.
Okay.
As you have it. I think
Yeah.
they're separate issues.
They're separate,
They
okay.
are.
I just don't want to,
No,
So, the motion is to appoint Beth McManus at the sum of $500 annually to maintain and work alongside of the CFO to produce and create the reporting system to the state of New Jersey of the CMC reporting
I'll
on
second
the
that.
COA.
Discussion, roll call.
Bailey's? Toriello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Just as an update, we're in the final throes of finalizing that, the last go-round on the monitoring report, and we have one more set of documents that have to go in addition to the ones that were sent out in early February. So once that's done, we'll have a final report, and then from there, she can pick up and keep going with her reports. It's really mostly phone calls and different things, and I've also asked her to create a document that indicates, since our professionals oftentimes overlap, they open space here, there. Sometimes, people don't know where to assess, put the billing, what's billable to the COA Trust Fund and what isn't billable to the COA Trust Fund. So she's going to outline, like the soft cost for future planning will be billable, but, like the litigation is not billable. So we need the person who's going to be involved with this to code it correctly so that we don't have any further issues with that. So,
That's good.
Yeah, there is. Sewer subcommittee preliminary service area not to exceed 10.
yeah. We had a sewer subcommittee meeting, and we are putting together, we have asked our professionals, and I need a motion for this, asked our professionals to begin to look at the sewer service area and improving the sewer service area district, whether it's along Greenwich Street, along Main Street, and they're going to come back with a proposal on what items we need to do and in what cases, and what the study would entail, and how much it's going to cost, and to extend the sewer service area into Stewartsville proper and Greenwich Street, and to try and, if there are any septics failing. And now that Mike's here, Mike can talk to this better. We're talking about the professionals getting together to do the preliminary study on extending the sewer service area, which would include this municipal building and areas on Main Street and Stewartsville proper. And can you add anything more? I know you have maps, Mike.
This was the map that you heard about through the phone.
Yes.
She was visually looking at it.
Do it real quick. I'll just hold it up. Okay. Here is a map that is a blow-up of basically the northern and western sections of the township. The blue is what is presently sewered. The yellow are the areas that we're looking about to sewer. So, and primarily, we're talking about, obviously, the Stewartsville proper and potentially into the Heights. These other yellow areas are areas that are in the sewer service area but are not part of this project. This was done just as a display tool at the sewer subcommittee meeting the other night, and to kind of allow us to brainstorm a little bit as far as what's involved and the steps to move this project forward. Obviously, because to construct sewer infrastructure in these areas, you need to be able to run the pipe to connect with the existing infrastructure in the light blue areas. And then obviously that gets conveyed to Phillipsburg.
Can you show that to the public real quick, just to give them a glimpse of where the blue and the yellows are?
Yeah, I didn't know we were actually going to do that. I would have brought it on board. But,
It gives them a general idea.
so, I can leave it out there.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty. So, there are a few first steps, if you will. Or did you, I'm sorry, I didn't know
We
you
were
were...
going to make the motion to authorize you to the sewer subcommittee.
Yeah.
So,
You and Joe Pryor and
Brent.
to begin your...
I would call it the feasibility phase of the project, the initial preliminary review, determine number of permits, determine an approximate preliminary cost to then obviously present to you folks,
And I believe the funding options.
and funding options too.
Yeah, okay. So, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to authorize the sewer subcommittee, led by Mr. Finelli here as our sewer engineer, to develop the preliminary sewer service area feasibility phase 1, including costs, options, and
Funding sources.
funding sources,
I'll second it.
not to exceed $10,000.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
I'd just like to say this is a step that, it's a very positive step, and I'm definitely for it. I think a big step for Stewartsville, the only section of town, and I think it's something that's overdue. It's around the master plan, and I'm definitely for it.
Okay.
Michael, just, I know I'm pushing hard on this, I don't want to, but
You want the real year?
like, in
You
other
want the
words,
real
this
year?
feasibility study is, like, we're not going to be picking pumpkins and still waiting for the results of
Oh,
this,
no.
are we? Okay, all right,
Oh, no.
okay.
Mike, the time to first flush.
Mike, what was the time to
This is
first
what
look?
we were
This is what Joe
discussing.
really wants to know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I get, but...
Just to set up,
I got to put a few assumptions out there. Assuming that there is no insurmountable permit hurdle, which I don't believe that there will be,
Correct.
and assuming that there is funding mechanisms in place and there's an agreement on how we're going to pay for this. The first flush could absolutely occur in the year 2017.
Okay.
that's phenomenal.
Well, it's 2015 no way and 2016 no way, but you could absolutely...
that wasn't with Joe Pryor.
That
wasn't Joe Pryor.
Design approval, permits, and then, of course, the funding. I mean, which is the big...
That's actually what, in my mind, that's reasonable.
Well,
that's
just in case you want to know, Joe Pryor is a little bit longer, but he was 3 to 5 years.
It's along the 3 to
Well, the
5.
siege is going there, so you gotta make sure.
Anyway, it's a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single footstep, and we're taking that today.
Yep.
So, there's no other discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Torello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Okay, that was it.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom, I think you're up.
maybe Sorielli.
Joe, maybe.
Can I have a motion to accept the DPW and court reports?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Torello?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
DPW lawn cutting, this, I think we should probably table this until we get the responses back, right, from the, don't you agree? Like, we haven't gotten the response, we should put this on the next meeting, but
It's
I,
actually, Mike?
Yeah,
Jump in on that?
This is,
What, do you want me to-
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, jump
Okay.
in, Mike.
I've kind of been working a little bit with both Kim and Joe Mexi, and this is where we're at. And I'll give it a timeline, and it should work. It will be advertised tomorrow in the Express Times. The bid opening is scheduled for Tuesday, April the 7th, 10 o'clock here, and for the meeting on the 9th. So you should be all set for, well, hopefully, an award recommendation on your meeting on the 9th.
Is there any room in there that you're going to go out with Joe and folks that bid to view all the parcels of property so that there's no guessing and telling which ones are rec fields and which
Yeah,
ones are this?
Joe did a nice job setting that up in
Okay.
like the spreadsheet as far as defining the property and
Okay.
what, there's actually
and he had Google
photos.
Maps too, yeah,
Yeah,
he laid it
so-
all out in terms of like
Yeah,
actual
I
photographs.
sent,
and showed
yeah, I
it, so.
sent
He did a great
the
job.
one that you and I have,
The one thing I do want to just, it's not technically with this, but it's close. Tom and I had a conversation with Joe relative to our DPW cutting around, I guess it's off of Dumont, right?
Yeah, there's
Which really is part of the HOA responsibility. And we've been assuming
Where's
this,
that? I didn't see that.
and I think I'd like to make a motion to authorize, to the extent that you concur with Joe's assessment, that it's really HOA responsibility, to the extent that you agree with Joe on that. I'd like a
This
motion.
is the Greenwich Chase
Yes,
Homeowners
yes.
Association.
I'd like to
Yeah.
make a motion authorizing the mayor to have a letter sent, basically indicating that it's our expectation that they immediately assume their legal responsibility and no longer provide that service free.
There would be no reason the mayor couldn't send that letter, in my opinion.
Okay.
So,
And was
it's a
that-
very, it's
I
small
understand it's small,
potatoes.
but the point is,
But they're already
it should be
cutting,
doing.
they're already
But
cutting
since
the other
this
side.
Yeah, I know.
since this is on topic here, the sidewalk that goes beyond, on here, all down Dumont, whose responsibility is it to clean that sidewalk?
That would
The
be,
children are walking to school, and they have to walk in the street on Dumont Road because the sidewalk behind the homes are not cleared.
Oh, snow.
Of snow.
yeah, no, that would be the homeowner. No, that sidewalk is no different than the sidewalk at my house, just as an
All right,
example.
so we'll add, let's add that to the,
Yeah, we'll
amend
add
the
that.
motion, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's not municipal responsibility such as like the bike path is.
Yeah.
We need to make it clear. So I'll make that, I'd like to make that motion,
That sidewalk.
to have a letter
Like
sent.
that again.
And here for the...
There is no, yeah, there is,
Just
they
that,
already
I'd
do
like to
this.
to have a letter sent addressing both the sidewalk and the grass cutting.
I will second that motion. Discussion, roll call.
Bailey's? Royal?
Yes.
Lori?
Yeah.
Liliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
And then, with respect to the land use board, Michael, jump in on this. At the last land use board meeting, there was a request, they would like to have, well, it's really two things. They want applications to be submitted electronically. They also want, I thought, a section on the website that would be private,
Yes.
so that Cindy can almost set up, for lack of a better word, almost like a chat room or like a Dropbox type of situation where...
Dropbox, not a chat.
Yeah, but I mean, where they can communicate back and forth, where you can communicate, share the documents, right, without the public seeing.
Correct, but
Okay.
not discussion.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
No, it would allow the board member to have access to the drawing.
But you're right, if
In
it
the
was
back,
a chat, it would be
Yeah, no,
violation of
you don't,
sunshine law.
right, yeah,
So,
that chat
right,
is
right,
not what we want.
right.
So it's
just-
really a
just a view.
Dropbox for all of the information, which we...
But only viewed by...
It's just that,
Only
it's
viewed
to
by
access
them.
and to view.
But there is a software package out there, and I know I sent an email saying, provide us with the software package, we have to know the bandwidth, we have to know all these things before we can make amendments to ordinances, because if the process is not in place and the ordinance says that it is, we can't do it without having everything done.
Well, how do you do electronically those maps?
The way this would be done, there's two ways these are developed. As a CAD drawing or as a PDF, basically. This would all be PDF. I mean, you wouldn't have CAD drawings to access, because nobody could open them. But yeah, it's just saved as a PDF. It's no big deal, and then, obviously, if it's saved in color, it comes up in color. If it's saved as a regular print,
But you're going
black
to
and
see,
white,
obviously, a lot smaller.
It's just a snapshot.
yeah, you can blow it up
You can
and
blow it
then
up.
scan the drawing.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah.
interested in them, like, looking at it.
Right, yeah. You'll be able to blow it up. What I believe, Elaine, I know you have some concerns about where we are in this process and whatnot. The board, Elaine's board is, obviously, you are a member, wants to try and at least move this forward. I think Joe's just putting it out there for the committee's, consumption.
I really wasn't there for the discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we
So-
need to develop an ordinance before we can really have any hearty discussion about this.
We need to put an ordinance we need to amend our ordinance before we actually create this space where they're going to be able to look at the land use applications?
Yeah, I would say it's a cart before the horse. I wouldn't spend a penny or a second worrying about the access. Jeff Jewell can tell you what you're gonna need, that as far as, you're gonna have, this ordinance is gonna be a little tricky ordinance, because you're gonna have to have provisions for residents that don't have the ability to file things
Correct.
electronically.
So this
And
is
so-
really a John Drill, because he's the land use board attorney, right? Is he,
Well,
who?
he would be certainly involved. I'm sure I'll be a little involved. Barb Margulies will be involved. I mean, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel
Okay,
here
so
either.
what's the cost, Mike? I gotta put it in the budget. It's a land use board that needs electronic
Okay,
things that
well-
I wanna know what the amount of money is.
The electronic part of it, I'm not even going to venture a guess. If you're looking for a budget amount, that's another story, then you should contact somebody.
This is why I asked for what the software was gonna cost, and what the
If you're
software, and the bandwidth, and do we have it? We just bought the brand new server. Do we have what they're requesting in what we are currently purchased?
I think those are pretty easy Jeff Jewell
Yeah,
questions,
well,
to be honest.
I agree,
Yeah,
and
The ordinance, prep, is not going to be that much. I mean, there's ordinances
yeah, I
out there in
know,
other towns. So,
I agree, it's not
the software
that.
part of it is definitely going to be the more
Pieces to this
expensive.
puzzle that I need to finance.
Did they, and I don't recall seeing anything, did they put anything specifically in writing as to exactly what they wanted?
They sent
Or was it
a
just, I
letter.
know, they sent something, but did it
No.
provide specifications?
No, what it did was said, this is what we want.
So maybe we should have them provide us
Well, that's
with...
what I sent to them. I said, can you provide us with what you
Yeah.
want? That's
I
what I
think-
said.
I would take it one step further. Ask the board and its professionals, me being one,
Right.
to prepare a draft ordinance. I mean, so that will give you all the guts that you want, and then you can actually give that to Jeff Jewell at that point. There's no rush here.
The ordinance doesn't make sense to me. Is that what you said ordinance?
I did say ordinance.
You did
Right.
say ordinance.
It doesn't
Well,
make
why
sense to me
not?
either, because
Okay.
I wanted to
Well,
know,
what does it make?
Yeah.
I wanted to know what
Let me just ask Jeff, what
doesn't make
yeah.
sense?
But you have to have an ordinance
have to have
in
an
place
ordinance.
if you're going to make changes
Yeah.
as to
What
the
doesn't make
procedure
sense?
for
to set forth
submittal.
how you
Yeah.
submit your
Yeah.
application. There is one
You
right
have to
now.
have an ordinance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at it from the financial.
Financial, that's what I'm looking at it from. I want to know what the cost is.
It's going to be...
Can we accomplish it
Or is
this
it going
year?
to be 80 grand?
Okay.
And we don't know that.
No, okay.
So we're saying...
All right,
let's
you
get
know
this-
what, here's where I think I'm not on the same page as you guys right at this
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
I don't think this is gonna be very expensive from a technological standpoint at all.
No.
And I'm saying that maybe a little too quickly. So I don't
the
think,
cost of what it's going to, the professional going to be to develop the ordinance.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna
You can
be,
go online and...
budget-wise, have any impact at
A
all.
couple $1,000.
It's not
Yeah.
much.
I think we're
Yeah,
under the impression it's...
No.
We want to make sure
Maybe.
Jeff Jewell
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
we just bought the server, make sure that it can accommodate
how
it.
about this? Okay, how about we do this?
Give us a quote.
How about this? We use Jeff Jewell.
Okay.
How about I call Jeff Jewell and just kind of give him this and say, on behalf, obviously, of the township, and say, Jeff, what do you think the upgrades are going to be? And what, do we need specific specialty software?
Whatever.
Was that fine? I mean, at least...
And then the land use board prepare a proposed draft ordinance for our review and consideration.
So then-
for next
so
week,
then
so
can-
we know what we're talking
So the
about.
governing body should really draft a letter to the land use board asking them for that, right?
We could do that, or we could just authorize Michael to do what he said he's going to do. Whatever you...
Well, he can do that, but on the same regard, we should send a formal letter, just like they sent to
You're
us,
right, well... you
saying
should
to them,
respond.
we need,
Okay.
a formal letter saying what we need.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion authorizing Michael Finelli to follow up with Jeff Jewell, and then also authorizing the mayor to send a formal letter to the land use board outlining what we need, which is specifically a proposed ordinance.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call.
Haley. Oriana.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
And I just have one walk-on item, which, it'll be 2 seconds. We also, yeah, I'm running you late. We also need, authorization to pay the first installment to Blue Line Consulting, for their, operational review in the amount of $3,750 pursuant to the contract that we approved last time.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey? Torello?
Yes.
Valori?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
So that has to be added to this bill list to make sure that...
Or it's gonna be another purchase order to grease the slide.
Okay.
Another request, another yellow request to grease the slide. Well, that's, how do you get it through? Okay, all right, I'm slowing things down, I'm sorry. Tom?
Ready?
Go.
Take a break after say this, 'cause
Uh,
I'm done.
Update on the Recreation 501c3, that was successfully e-filed on 3/14 of this month, so that's up and going, so Rec should be able to be using that shortly. Fire Department, there's a new member.
Mark, thanks for your patience
Yeah,
on that,
thanks
by
a
the way.
lot, appreciate that, and thanks for everybody's help that pitched in on the committee as well as Attorney Today to get that expedited.
Thank you, guys.
The Fire Department, there's a new member, make a motion to appoint new member Ryan Osman.
Second.
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Torello?
Yes.
Valori?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Under OEM, the update on the hazard mitigation plan is that the county meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, March 20th at 10 a.m. I'll be attending that with Joe Mess.
And me.
You're going, son?
I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you're
going?
You said you're not
I'm
going.
going.
Did you say you were not going?
I said I was not going, I may,
I think you said you were not going.
Oh, Joe, it's too
I
much.
think I
Couldn't
did.
be, so I said I was going to go in your place, so I didn't know. Do we need 90 people to go or no?
no,
Okay.
I have to go because I'm
You
the
have to go.
administrator of the grant.
I'm going
they have.
on
You
behalf
have
of actually some other
Right, doing your
municipalities.
thing.
So I'll be
Joe's
there.
going for OEM.
And you will, there'll be no charge
I'm
to
the
Greenwich
administrator
for
of the
my
grant.
minutes.
Okay. All right, so I was going to go or not go.
No, that's fine.
You like that?
Trust me.
Clerks are mandated.
That wasn't terrible.
Still up there. Oh, no, we didn't do the police report. Did you get it?
That's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Do you want to do,
Motion to approve.
Yeah. And I have a motion to approve the monthly police report.
Second.
discussion? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Torello?
Yes.
Valori?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
And Adams?
Yes.
Did you go over your DPW report?
Yes, he did.
You did? Did we? I don't.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
For next time.
Okay. Good enough.
Okay. Angela?
Okay. Okay, so, I think everybody got, an email with the, kind of long operation guide for the, animal control report.
89 pager.
Okay. This is basically everything, we need to know about animal control. This is put together, by consultation in a number of different states, by the American Humane Society. But what I did was I made copies of the most important reports that Amanda would be using, which I thought that she would be using, like animal bite reports, children complaints, physical complaints, violations, impounding, different things that she would use as she went out to go on calls. So basically, between this and changing the phone number so that we would get a report as to all the calls that came in, this would be a comprehensive way of keeping track of what we have as far as animal reports and seeing what's going on in the town. And
Does she already fill out reports for the county that we know of?
I don't know anything that's...
Okay.
The one town that I checked on, they said nothing was being done, so...
Has she seen these?
No. I'm just bringing this up and...
Okay.
something that, next step would be to show her, ask her if she's doing anything
Yeah.
already.
I agree.
And obviously, if he has something that he could show us that good, better.
Yeah. This is pretty comprehensive.
It is.
It's very comprehensive.
Yeah.
This
And maybe
is
there's-
good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be,
Hopefully, there's already something that she is doing that can help us,
The only thing
that we
I've
can
seen-
leverage.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen that on these to change is just consistency. Some say case number, and then some say complaint number, but other than that, it's like, it looks very comprehensive.
and as I said before, that, as far as operations, that's something that has to do with the reporting person, and then as far as administration, if there's any problems, then, the liaison, with a summary report, and that would be,
So you're going to show this to, committee then for the comment?
yeah, I think, maybe we could have a meeting.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, that's good.
Unfortunately, I have an very early day tomorrow morning.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Sir.
good luck.
So I will be, yeah.
All right, Angelo, thanks for getting us back on track.
That was
Thanks for making it this time.
10 minutes.
Mike, do you have a report or not? I don't see you on the agenda. I didn't-
I think Kim forgot me, I feel slighted, that's okay, I'll get
You
over it.
got a book.
It's in, yeah, it's actually, the report is in the
It's in the
agenda.
book
course
and
it is,
everything.
yes.
Okay, yeah, I sent this out, I think landed last week.
We're missing it.
The roadway evaluation study has commenced, so again, targeting to get that done as soon as we can. Inspections underway, we've actually been investigating different options as far as resurfacing options. The micro surfacing, there's CIR, which is cold in place reclamation, and then the typical overlay. So there are a number of options, and different roads are better candidates for different resurfacing types. Okay, we submitted the vouchers and all the backup to Kim and to Jim. Did I send it to you? This is about the HOHAT OU2 reimbursements. I think I did.
I've seen
Okay,
that.
the bottom line, we supplied the township with the data you need to take the next step to make the application and get the reimbursement, which I would strongly encourage you to do, because it's over $13,000. It's not, not $130,000, but it's still $13,000. So that information's here. We did what we took it as far as we could take it. I sent it to Joan as well, that's right. I think I sent it to Jim, Joan,
To Joan, yes.
and to Kim. Let's see.
Do we need a motion for that?
Just updates.
Yeah.
The new sewer maps are finally complete, so they're be distributed for a set here at the township. And the reason I stepped out earlier, I wanted to talk to Bob and just advise him that in conjunction with your budget and moving forward, to make certain that there is some additional funding available for Dumont Road. Because you're
What are we
going
looking
to
at,
need it. I mean,
What are we looking at?
40.
yeah, about.
40 additional,
Yeah.
operating.
That's what we've been
And
talking
that takes, so,
Cap. It's CapEx.
yeah, he said he was completely good with the idea and wasn't very surprised, and he's like, I'll send Jim an email tomorrow, and I'll outline the two options. One would be another bond ordinance, not a bond ordinance, a capital ordinance. And the second, what did he say now? Oh, just to use the capital that you guys were already prepared to have on the books for this year.
Which I think was 50,
No, he's done a lot more than that. Oh, yeah.
89, ring a bell?
Yeah, 90, I think he said.
89.
Yeah,
90.
okay. So, just, you need to know, obviously, we're in the process of the negotiation phase of things with contractors. We've sent them the information, we're waiting to hear back on prices from those guys, so,
Yeah, we have to get that done.
yes, please, Joe, I'm more than aware. Yes, we do. So that's Dumont, and we'll talk about the unfit dwellings. And that would conclude my report.
Michael, with respect to the letter we received from the state regarding Green Acres.
Oh, yeah, said letter, yes.
Yeah, is there, the thought is maybe you can reply to that and provide them with the information to show that their assumption is incorrect, so that we can...
Keep that afloat.
That would be very simple to do. I was, and I think I put this in my email today. Does anyone have any exception, or take any exception, to have me call Mr. Fink and just say, so I need to be clear exactly what monies we are talking about here. And then,
To the extent that your assumption is correct, and maybe you can provide the information.
and I can do a verbal and tell them, we're going to be sending you a letter and outlining blah, 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 and I can find.
So I'd like to make a motion to authorize Township Engineer to respond to Mr. Fink's letter.
I'll second the motion. Discussion? Roll call?
Haley?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Okay, Jim, I'd like to walk something on for Mike as well.
Oh,
If you don't
okay.
mind. Last meeting at the rec meeting, I had discussed with President Mark Hellman some discussions with regards to, he and his team had questioned me with regards to the rec fields and the development thereof, and with regards along the lines, it's a perfect segue from that. And I thought about a lot last night and came up with a few ideas to see whether or not there is municipal property that we can allot to the Recreation Committee to use for recreation fields now. Maybe one of the suggestions were the fields, the acreage over by the EMS building. Also, one of the other suggestions was to carve a portion of the Hamlin property closest to the school for a couple of fields that, not baseball or softball fields, just flat grass fields for lacrosse and soccer. For now, and as well as Joe had discussed, there might be an option with shared service with the schools with regards to their fields and their space. So what I'd like to do is to ask for authorization from Mike to explore some of those options on doing, take a look at the map and the feasibility of putting fields down there. I don't know if it's in the flood zone. I have no idea where that lies and what the feasibility is on putting a rec field there by the EMS property.
You can still put a field there.
What would be the tentative initial cost to get that up and going, as well as investigating carving out a portion of the Hamlin property closest to where we discussed today?
I think the Hamlin poses problems, in my opinion, for several reasons. Number one, it's inconsistent with the original intent of its passive use. Number two, given the funding that's involved, I don't know that legally we could reserve it just for our rec folks. Maybe I'm wrong about that. If I'm wrong about that, I'd like to hear it. But I think given the funds that were used to acquire that property, I don't know that we can keep it exclusively to Greenwich, at least on Main Street.
Oh, exclusively to
Correct.
Greenwich. You are definitely correct.
So to me, that's...
You are definitely correct.
It could not be for us, so
It would be for everyone in the state of New Jersey.
It would be for the whole world. It could be for any child, anywhere, in any state or
But the
any
property
county.
near the EMS building would not be.
Correct. We can
Correct.
keep that for
That's
our
our-
use.
What is the
Right.
timing of the need for the fields? This year?
This is something that we're looking at. Just to, I mean,
I don't know how urgent this is.
Mark can speak, the president here, if you don't mind.
I mean, obviously, any field is not ready to be played on now. This year is not feasible, but I mean, it's great. Make it play. But this is all part of our discussion for our current year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. have a space that we can eventually solve. Which we don't have, as anybody who knows, played on Drexel, right, field, town, there's no space that says, hey, playing Green Ridge Rack, here's where you're going. It's kind of scattered. And we don't own any land other than Stecker.
And it also segued off our discussion with regards to our relationship with Bloomsbury, which seems to not be working too well at this point, so we'd like to get on our own, where we don't need to use those fields anymore.
Yeah, so is there some sort of, quick assessment that we can sit down and have a...
He has the numbers
Yeah.
of current use by sport, what his needs are, so we've discussed that. He has that, he has that available, so we can get that.
I think we do both, Mark. We could look, I think as a committee, we could talk short-term and long-term, and they don't necessarily have to be the same plan. I think we could look maybe towards a shared service on the short term, and then maybe discuss, I'm happy to hear that the field on Main Street, the property on Main Street.
By Squad Building?
Yeah, it is a viable, option. That would be something that, maybe a more long-term, plan for rec. So,
And like I said, this is just to open the discussion and to get the ball rolling with some out-of-the-box thinking on this
Right.
stuff, instead of waiting for this other project to bear fruit, so.
No, that
So
sounds good.
I'd like to authorize Mike to do that, do I have to do some sort of,
do what?
authorize him to look into
For the
those,
land?
for the land, to see the feasibility on both.
Both?
On both, just to see what
have-
Joe's comments are, you're right, let's just take a look at it, or Hamlin, you want to look at that? Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's just consider the property over at the other.
Okay,
For now.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
for the reasons I
Right.
said.
Okay, that's why I
We would
said.
invest money for
And Joe, do you
want
want to broach the topic real quick with regards to the shared service and what may or may not be on the
Well,
table?
we'll
Yeah.
reach out.
Okay.
So let's get the motion down to authorize Mike to investigate recreation fields that meet the requirements for recreation short-term and long-term.
Make the motion.
Okay.
Tom made it, Joe second, discussion, roll call,
Bailey's, Torriello.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Adams.
yes.
Going back to the animal control real quick, before I talk to,
See, now you're gonna make it.
before I talk to, what's your name?
Amanda,
Amanda.
Should we nail down whether, because I don't want to talk to her unless I know whether we're going to change the phone number. Should we vote on whether we're going to change the phone number? Are we going to do that?
I think a good conversation with her and, put the ideas back and forth, maybe she has her own ideas.
All right,
And,
so I'm not going to talk
No,
to
talk to
her
her
about
about
changing the number?
no, talk to her about it. Talk to her about it and see what kind of ideas, and we can come to the 9th or the
All right, so we're
following
not
meeting and do it.
not
Yeah.
changing the number yet.
Well, tell her that's what you're thinking.
That's what you're
And then
thinking.
let her tell you if she has any
Yeah.
issues or concerns.
Okay.
And why, and then, but you should share with her
Right.
what you said and the reasons for the Google generating reports and all that type of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, explain it to her.
Where were we? Okay, motion to open the meeting to public comment.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yep, please, come on up to the podium, state your name, address, phone number, zip code,
Social Security.
social security number.
I'll give you the last 4 digits, right? Bob Hurd, 557 North Main Street, long-time resident, know all the guys. Basically, what I wanted to ask about is, one's a question, and then one would be around, it's dealing with the old school. And I think, Joe, you might have had conversations with Mike Margolis.
There was an exchange, the latter part of 2014, and I had asked him to put forth a proposal involving costs. He never gave us that, but I see tonight, when I came to the meeting, there's a proposal dated today. So he submitted a proposal. It looks like he's saying the cost for his services would be $2,900 if I read the proposal correctly.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So,
Is that your understanding?
well, from what I was looking,
Yeah.
I read the same letter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it tonight, so I was just reading it.
But I know originally he was talking about, I guess, coming to township meetings to give his feelings on that. Is there any way to get that,
Well, yeah, as I told him back in November or December when he reached out to me, he said he wanted to come to a meeting, and I said before he would come to a meeting, I wanted a written proposal so that we could have a chance to review it, so that when he came to the meeting, we would be prepared to discuss or have any questions that we have. So I think now that we have the proposal, this would, I think, yes, I think this is, I think this is what I had asked for last year.
I'm sorry. I just want to point out something here.
Yeah, I think we have implemented.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
I just wanted to point that out to you.
Actually, Tom just pointed something out this confirms my understanding is not correct in terms of that. And this is an example of why, what I had said to him was, it's helpful if we get this stuff in advance so that we can digest it. But yeah, that notwithstanding, I think by a future meeting, we would have had a chance to have reviewed this, and then we can ask questions.
And the second part of the reason I was up here is to give my reference for him, or just my recommendation of support. I'm an elder at the Swartzville Presbyterian Church. I don't know if you've noticed how often you get to go by. We had a lot of work done. He got us a grant, through the same one that he's talking about here, where we repaired stained glass windows, we put a new roof on, and we had foundation taken care of. So it was all stabilization, which in reality that's what we need to do with the school. Also, Mike is personal experience. He's a great guy to work with. He's very forthcoming, honest with any answers to questions. He will also work within the Singer budget. I know we had proposed, I'm sure you could work with him on that. So basically, I just wanted to ask if you think that in the future you can have a meeting with him. Very personal guy, very well known in the area. He's had a lot of success. I don't know if you know the Bandetta Farm up in Harmony. He was the backbone of that. He's also the president of the Powhatan Historical Commission and Society. He's very enthusiastic, he has passion, and he's very knowledgeable about historical buildings and projects. So that's basically what I wanted to do, is ask if you would consider talking to him, and also that I've had personal experiences with him. He's fantastic, and we've been battling this situation for so long, so we need to do something before it goes right.
Yep, no, I agree, and there's also a timeline here for his application deadline of June 19th, so let's, you want to work with him and try and get, this is your,
we'll
get on the next,
we have our next
one or two
meeting
meetings.
on April 9th, right? Is that our next meeting?
Yeah, 9th or the 23rd?
So I volunteer to be part of that.
It's the 9th.
Somebody?
The 9th.
The 9th.
9th?
Yeah.
The 9th is the
So
next.
you've talked to him, right?
I've exchanged emails with him. Yeah, I could reach out to him and invite him to come for our April 9th meeting.
Well, I think
And
that's what
then we can have a discussion then at that meeting. Okay?
Right.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Any other public
And Bob,
comment?
just so you know while you're here, I haven't forgotten about the issue with the stuff that's stored there and the concern on the climate.
Okay.
So, that hasn't, you and I haven't spoken about it in a while, but we are kicking around some options.
My name is Ann Stone. I live at 532 North Main Street. Former mayor of this town many times. Once mayor, always mayor. I'm always thinking about Greenwich Township. And I'm the one that generated this, brought to your attention immediately, because I'm very familiar with the county's plan. This conservancy group that hands out this funding, our tax dollars are paying for this, okay? In Greenwich Township, our taxpayers are paying a county tax as well as the township tax. And if you remember back in 2006 or 2007, the township committee did appoint a grant writer to apply for funds. but there was something we didn't have in the backing of the governing body. The township committee and the mayor paid for the grant writer. They interviewed the person and applied to this group. And now, this is the same group that would be reviewing this. So it's very important that you have a grant writer that really knows the township and has done a lot of work in this area. And being a former member, and always will be a member of the Historical Society, because I created it, and I'm really concerned about it being very successful. And I'm very proud of what the Historical Committee has done since it was created back in 1984. They have preserved this community, and I always considered Greenwich Township the emerald of Warren County. Until the day I die, I will be thinking about Greenwich Township. And the reason it's urgent is because if you know their time, they just told how many applications have been put out. When you read that letter, it's very clear that we're under a time frame. So I'm very grateful that you're going to address this issue in April 9th. And that's why I think
Thank you, Ed.
Fred Cowell, 368 Hamilton Drive, 908-619-1490. I've got two issues that are very related. The first one is a letter I received about snow removal. Very simple, right? And because I live on Dumont, it's right here. I was surprised when nobody seemed to know about this. Did you know about this? Anybody?
Did I send it?
I don't know what I'm holding, sir.
Yeah,
I don't
Right.
know.
You can bring it up.
Right, no, but I just was wondering if you knew about it.
I don't know what you're holding.
Is it
I'm
referencing
holding
an
a letter
ordinance?
from Greenwich Township residents that says, and Rich J. Grasso,
Okay.
all right? Greenwich.
It's
Richard
the,
Guzzo,
yeah,
it's
it's
from
the
the
police,
police
it's the former police chief.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right. But it was delivered, and behind it is the ordinance for snow removal, telling me that I was responsible for doing it. I've checked other people in the township got it, right? My first question is, who notified the foreclosed residents about the ordinance? Did anybody?
Did what?
So your question is, who
Who
notified
notified any of the foreclosed homes in our neighborhood?
that are within the Greenwich Chase Homeowner
That's right.
Association?
That's right.
Yeah.
Who notified?
It should be the Greenwich Chase Homeowner
No,
Association.
there you're wrong. I'll read it to you. All right? I got the law right here. You did our law, I'm going to do yours. New Jersey law. Your little comment before. All right? In fact, it was amended July 2014. Clearly puts the responsibility on you. All right? You want the name of the law? Or you should have it. I researched it. I've been spending the last 3 weeks researching the whole thing. All right? And you can tell I'm a little upset about it. One, because my wife is on the board. All right? She got a letter. She thought she was going to be arrested. All right? Because that letter to the HOA basically threatens her. All right? Do you know anything about corporate law? I do. All right? Why was the HOA formed? I have it right here. I bought my book. Do you know why it was formed? Anybody?
You can continue on. We're not obligated to engage.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. All right? Intended, all right, right here, a nonprofit corporation known as Greenwich Chase for the purpose of owning and maintaining aforesaid open space and common areas and facilities for the use. Okay? Now, you sent a letter here, all right? I'm sure you know about it because you signed it, right?
Yes, I do.
That basically attacked, first of all, attacked the board, all right? If you read further, you would have found out they're indemnified. Why? Because it's a corporation under the laws of New Jersey. You can't do anything to the board. Who do you cite? You cite me, the homeowner. If you cite the HOA, you cite me. All right?
Mhm.
And that's wrong. All right? Now, you're sitting there looking at me like, whoa, what has he done? All right? The issue here involved a house that was a rental property. Did you know that? Any of them? You're not obligated to answer me, and you're not going to. I don't want to embarrass you, but I have the law on that also. Clearly places the responsibility for any rental property on you, the municipality. It's right here. I got it. You can get it. Right? If you want the number, I even got the form that the landlord is supposed to fill out, give to the municipal court clerk, all right, indicating all the information and what happens. And it clearly indicates any violation. This is the document that the municipality uses, all right, to take care of the business, not the HOA. Your letter about the HOA is wrong. All right? You signed it. All right? I can't believe this letter actually got out. You signed it. All right? And you state in here that it's a contract between the homeowners and the HOA. That's legally wrong. All right? It's not even close. It's a contract among the members of the HOA, governed by the bylaws. That's what it is. All right? Now, your letter also does another thing. And I won't get into it unless I have to, but I'm going to tell you right now.
There is a 3-minute limit, and I am extending you the courtesy.
I know you're going to
continuing.
cut me off, and I was told that.
I'm not going to cut you off.
All right?
I understand you're
No,
coming...
I'm upset because
You're upset and you're coming...
case, I've been in this community for 14 years, and we've always been treated like stepchildren. And I'm tired of it. I take care of my property, and so do the other people in my community. All right? Everybody's hard working there. All right? We should not be treated like stepchildren. We should be given a chance. You attack our board. You know why they're on there? Because nobody else wants to be there. That's the main reason. And all over garbage. You guys are supposed to be the leader of this community. And instead of working with them, what did you do? You come out with a letter. You use taxpayers' money to give an opinion on our bylaws. What gave you that right? Nothing. You're not a court. You're not legal. None of you. All right? This is for the court. If I had an disagreement with them, what was I going to do? I was going to go to court. Why? Because they're not following my bylaws. Not you. You're indicating in here that you have some kind of power to do something. That's what you're doing. Now, I don't know if you've ever read the New Jersey law on abuse of power. This fits it. It fits it in 2 ways. All right? First way, you threaten the HOA. All right? That's an abuse of power. Second one, it's called usurpation of power, where you seem to assert something in here that you don't have the power to do. All right? And, I mean, if we took this to court, you guys would lose. All right? Because it's ridiculous. And I can't believe you wrote it. I'm upset because my wife got upset. Now, you know what Lyme disease is? Any of it, all right? You know what it is. You've heard about it. My wife has had it since 1992. She almost died from it. Unkept yards and everything breed ticks. And that's what causes it. All right? And unless you know or have somebody that had it, all right, you would say, oh, wow, let's work with them to get this done. Now, and I'm going to make another statement. One of the reasons why you did this to our board is because there's one person on that board who was a member of this committee and has a personal and private feud with a lot of you. All right? This particular letter prejudices. Now, where do I go to be represented? All right? You've hurt my public trust. All right? I've been working on this for 3 weeks. All right? And you guys destroyed my public trust. I can't come in here and make a statement and say this is wrong because you might cite the HOA because you're quote, non-emergent. How do I know it's non-emergent? This thing is so vague, you gave us no information, the homeowners won't know where to go. All right? And you were so intent on attacking, all right, you forgot to do your job, which is inform the foreclosed homes, all right, that they were responsible for taking care of everything. All right? That's why I was surprised when there was comment made about who's responsible for shoveling Duma. I know it's me. I'm the homeowner. I've known it for 14 years, and so do the other ones. Some of them don't do it. That's not my problem. I do my two neighbors, okay? All right? So, all I want to know is who handles foreclosed and who handles rentals. We're not responsible for it. And if you say we are, then I think you need to get a lesson in law or ask your legal counsel or something.
When you say we, are you speaking on behalf of the board?
No, I don't speak on behalf of the board. I'm not a member. I haven't been to a board meeting in 10 years.
Okay.
All right? I'm speaking on me as a taxpayer. You use taxpayers' money to get this letter done. Your own website says you want to use taxpayers' money wisely. Was this wise? What did it do? It created confusion. You're going to ask somebody, what's non-emergent mean? I'm asking. You wrote the letter. What does it mean? What's it mean? Yeah, you're sitting there looking at me. You wrote a letter and you won't answer me. Why not?
We're in public comment.
Okay.
If you're done,
All right.
Are you done?
All right. I'm just going to ask for something in writing that tells me who I have to see on those, okay?
Would you like
Just
to...
like your letter says, wait, I'm going to be finished very quickly. And I'll quote it, all right? We will do everything in our power, all right? What it says, it's in here. I'm willing to go as far as I have to go to get this thing fixed, all right? That's all. I'm done. Okay?
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else for a public comment?
Gary Hill, 529 North Main Street. The last 4 meetings has been discussion regarding the property maintenance officials. I think it kind of comes off of what Mr. Collins was talking about when he was in executive session. And I was just curious if there was any leeway done on that. It didn't seem to get brought up even when you guys talked about voting on things that occurred during the executive session that got bypassed. It just seems to be getting drug in the mud for a long time, and you guys are talking like you need a public maintenance official. Clearly you do. Hopefully that's going to continue. Under the Board of Health, we skipped 108 Washington Street. That was the house that started the whole thing. Curious if you can give us any light on progress on that house. I'm sure a lot of the residents of East Washington Street are anxious to hear about what's going on with that. Two last things. Shamey Lane left here, but maybe one of you can answer for the total monitoring report. We're now going to pay $500 to somebody that has done. How was that being done before? It was an annual report. Why is it now we're having to pay somebody $500 to do it when it's been being done? But it doesn't appear that we're having to pay that. Last but not least, do we have a permanent CFO, or are we still working under a temporary? I have some issues that I don't want to waste my time having a temporary CFO, research a whole bunch of stuff, waiting to see if we have a permanent CFO. If we've hired anybody yet. Is that kind of getting nods? I know whether or not to...
Yeah, I will provide some answers for you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing and seeing none. Motion to close public comment.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I do want to address some of Gary Hill's questions there. In regard to the property maintenance person, I believe we tabled that as we're working on the ordinance and job responsibilities for that individual. Temporary CFO is permanent CFO until we do otherwise. If you want to get with me offline, let me know what's happening, okay? Because right now, if you were here, part of the earlier discussions with the dynamics of training and taking on everything, there's a large load that she's dealing with. With regard to the COA, I can't speak to it. Elaine has the expertise in that area. However, from a financial perspective, the monitoring report, $500 is basically getting it for free. The amount of effort that is required. When I saw this report, I can't remember how thick it was. Imagine 6 or 7 professionals all sending in bills for payments, and they need to be segregated in the right accounts and whatnot. And COA is tricky. Things get lost or misappropriated in the account. That monitoring report is going to really help us offload operations budget from COA budget. And we hit on 108 last meeting.
No, you didn't. You skipped that.
No, at the previous meeting, it was still in, do you want to give?
It's just, there's been no,
It's still in process with the taking over.
It's in process with the one daughter that's trying to get back to us with her addresses of her 4 siblings. So we've sent her a couple of certified letters now, and we're waiting to hear back.
Okay. And do you want to address the foreclosure and rental issue from a legal perspective?
As far as the homeowner association?
Homeowner association?
I have to go back to see what the letters were from last month or 2 months ago, whatever it was. I don't remember if we're specifically addressing it or not. From the letter standpoint.
Okay.
We'll look and get an answer back to the next meeting.
Fine. All right, any other old business, old or new business, or any other comments?
Yeah, I'm going to just make one comment. And I'm not going to get into back and forth, and I'm not going to debate, and people can come to public comment, and they could say whatever they believe is their understanding. But there were a lot of misstatements and mischaracterizations about the status of the law, the status of what the letter said. Quoting 1 or 2 sentences from a bylaws book that's this thick, and what was conspicuously absent from many of the discussions was our own township ordinance, which is the empowering ordinance in terms of what gives this township the authority to not only fine a homeowner, but also the homeowners association if they don't undertake the responsibility. So the letter and the position was entirely consistent with the township ordinance, and it is our responsibility as the governing body to ensure that the township ordinance is followed. And that's all I have to say on it. Plain and simple.
Thank you, Joe. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You need, Pam, the tape? One is this.
1 second. Good. 1 second, Jim.